Good morning to all my. You're all well, you're all fine, and you're all safe wherever you are. Children, this is your general knowledge class, and today we are going to begin learning GK, and we are going to start with the very first chapter, that is useful microbes. Okay, now microbes, you all know about them. In your previous classes, you have got a little introduction when you learned science, and you studied that the dead bodies of plants and animals, they are decomposed by these microorganisms, okay, and they in the process make the soil fertile. Okay, fine. Now what are microbes? So we are going to do the first chapter, that is useful microbes, today. Okay, so that means we'll do page number 5, 6 and 7 today, all about microbes. Now first of all, what are microbes? So microbes are simple organisms that you cannot see with your naked eyes. Naked eyes means you cannot see like this, as you can see everything. If you want to see microbes, then you have to use a microscope. Okay, then only you can see, because they are very, very, very tiny. Then their bodies may have just one cell or more than one cell. So microorganisms can be formed with only one cell. When there was no life on earth, so it is considered that first of all these microbes appeared. Okay, and these microbes were then only single celled. Later on, they uh, most of the microorganisms are still single celled, and many of them are having more than one cell also. Now when we think of life on other planets, okay, so what do these scientists think? They think that as on earth, similarly on these other planets also, these microbes must have originated, and then they must have multiplied and formed other creatures. Then there are numerous types and species of microorganisms, some of which are very useful to us. So microorganisms are of various kinds, okay, and only some of them have been named by the scientists, and many of them are still not known, are not named. Okay, now these microbes can be useful for humans in many ways, and they can be dangerous also, they can be harmful also. Okay, so they may cause diseases also. So now in this chapter, as the title suggests, useful microbes, so yes, we are going to see the positive side of having microbes. So positive side means the uses, how are they useful to human beings. So on page number 5, they have given you 10 uses of 10 ways in which microbes are useful for humans. Let me show that to you. I will just show that to you. Yes, so you can see here on this page. So there are certain ways in which they are useful. So they have given you 10. Okay, so first one is production of fermented food and beverages. So production of fermented food and beverages. Now what is fermented food, beta? Now you eat bread, okay, you eat burgers. Burgers have bread. Then otherwise also you eat bread and butter and all that. So we have bread. Then you eat chola bhaturas. So bhaturas. Then you eat idli dosa. So idli dosa, bread and bhaturas. These are the examples of fermented food. Okay. How do we ferment them? We put them aside so that for some hours, for 9 or 10 or more than, or maybe 12 or 24 hours even, so that they get fermented. Okay, then we eat them. They give a different taste. So these microbes are helpful in fermenting food and beverages. Then second point is production of antibiotics, vaccines and insulin. So these microbes cause disease also, but then they are the ones which are used to create antibiotics, vaccines and insulin, which can cure the diseases also. Okay, then third use is they are used as biofertilizers and biopesticides. Fertilizers, you all have an idea what are fertilizers. Fertilizers are used to have a better crop. You all know the crop of wheat, when the wheat is grown, when the rice is grown, all this crop. So these fertilizers are used to have a better quality of crop. Now, pesticides. What are pesticides? Pests are any dangerous kind of insects which may affect the crop. You might have seen yourself if you have many plants at home. People who have gardens, big gardens at home, and they are like they are interested in gardening. So sometimes what happens is uh, there's a particular plant in our house which may be infected by an insect, by some bacteria, something like some pest. So then what we do, we put some powder or some pesticide, some medicine for that. So that is called pesticide or insecticide. We either spray it or we put it in the powder form, and then that pest vanishes or it dies, and then the plant becomes healthy again. So when these farmers they grow uh, these crops, then definitely they have to face the problems of pesticides and insecticides, and then these microbes are useful for making biofertilizers and biopesticides. Then fourth point is the degradation of toxic pollutants in the environment like oil, plastics and petroleum. So actually these microscopes in some way helps to reduce pollution. Okay, because they uh, degrade the toxic pollutants. Toxic means which are very harmful. Okay, so these poisonous pollutants in the environment like oil, petroleum and plastic, they are degraded by the microbes, and so the environment is helped. Now let's see the point further. We have the fifth point, that is production of energy sources like biofuel and bioalcohol. So energy sources like biofuel and bioalcohol are also produced with the help of microbes. Then sixth point is maintenance of healthy intestinal tract. Okay, a healthy intestinal tract is very necessary for us humans. If that is affected, then our digestive system is affected, and because of that our health as a whole is affected. So these good bacteria, good microbes, they help in the maintenance of healthy intestinal tract. Then seventh one is important contributors to the nitrogen and carbon cycles of soil and air. So the nitrogen and carbon cycles, these microbes are important contributors. They play an important role in the cycle. All these cycles are, you have learned about the hydrological cycle. Okay, and so these nitrogen and carbon cycles also you may learn in your subjects like science and EVS. Okay, so there you will come to know how microbes are important. Then leaching of metals and remove the ores from rocks. So metals are formed when the ores are removed from rocks, and so that is how these microbes help us. Then decomposition of organic matter from domestic or industrial waste. Okay, so the organic matter is decomposed by these microbes from the domestic or industrial waste. I just gave an example that the dead bodies of plants and animals, the decaying leaves, the decaying plants, okay, and the decaying bodies of the dead bodies of animals and humans and these plants, all they are they get decayed, okay, and by these decomposers, these microorganisms, they decompose these dead bodies and they change them into simpler substances, simpler material, and then they get mixed up with the soil, and in the process they make the soil fertile. Okay, then they are used in scientific research as microbes multiply rapidly in large numbers. So they are used in scientific research because they multiply rapidly. Rapidly means very quickly in large numbers. So in scientific researches, they are very useful. So that was your page number 5. You don't have to fill anything. You don't have to fill the answers. You only had to go through these 10 points. Now you don't have to learn these points, but you should know them. Now your question would be, how can they be asked in exams? Then children, of course, we are not going to ask you to write all these points in GK. But what we can do is, we can ask you true and false. Okay. So you must know these points. You don't have to cram them up. You don't have to learn them. But we may ask them in the form of true or false. Okay. So then you must know them. Now, like look at the 10 point. Use in scientific research as microbes multiply rapidly in large numbers. So we can say that microbes multiply. Microbes don't multiply rapidly in large numbers. So you have to answer whether it's true or false. Okay, so like that, we can ask you that these are microbes are important contributors to the nitrogen and carbon cycles of soil and air, and then you have to answer whether it's true or false. Okay. Okay, now we come to the next page, that is page number 6, and that is answer the questions. They have given you some questions and you have to answer them. As you can see, I have written the answers also, which are visible to you. So first question is, what is the name of the process of treating foods like milk, cheese and wine to stop bacterial contamination? So this process is called pasteurization. Okay, this process is called pasteurization, and of course microbes are involved in this. So milk and cheese and wine, they should not get contaminated. So for that, the process is pasteurization. I should tell you the spelling, however it's very clear. The spelling is Pasteurization. 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 Okay. Next, what is the name of the instrument used to study microorganisms? We all know that it's microscope. Okay. MICROSCOPE. Microscope. Now, which scientist is called the father of microbiology and was the first to view microbes? So who is called the father of microbiology and who was the first to view microbes? It's Antony van Leeuwenhoek. Antony van Leeuwenhoek. So ANTONIE VAN You have to note that V is not capital here. Then LWUWENHOEK. LWUWENHOEK. Okay. Then what is the name of a preparation of live bacteria and yeast that is good for the digestive tract? What is the name of a preparation of live bacteria and yeast that is good for the digestive tract? So the answer is probiotic. 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 Then next, what name is given to a shallow circular glass or plastic plate with nutrients for growing bacterial cultures? So that is called Petri dish. When you'll grow up and you'll go in labs, laboratories, there you would see Petri dish. Okay, so that's a circular glass plate, and there you grow bacteria. Okay, bacterial culture is there. So Petri dish, PETRI, Petri DISH. Then what is the name of the process in which microorganisms like yeast and bacteria are used to convert sugars to organic acids? The sugars are used to convert organic acids. This process is called fermentation. Okay, fermentation, FERMENTATION, fermentation. Okay. So now the question is, how are these questions going to be put up? Children, remember, we are never going to give you vice versa the questions. In some exercise, when it is necessary, we can give you vice versa also. But here we are not going to ask you, like we are not going to give you the term pasteurization and ask you what is pasteurization. No, that is not done. We will not give you this way. But one way of asking the question is, yes, we'll ask you the question and you have to answer the following. Okay, answer the questions. That is already given. Now, another way can be, we may ask you to name the following. Okay, the question would be name the following, and then we can see we can just ask you father of microbiology. Father of microbiology. So you will say Anthony van Leeuwenhoek. Then we can ask you who was the first to view microbes. We may not give you full statements. We may just ask you father of microbiology, or we may just ask you who viewed microbes first. Okay. Yeah, we can ask you name of the instrument used to study microorganisms. Okay. Then so this is how we can put up the questions. Now let's move on to the next page. We have matched the microorganisms with its use. Okay. So children, you can see I have written answers over here and they can be seen clearly. Now, I must tell you one thing here, children. When you do your GK work in your book, when you do your general knowledge work in your book, first of all, you will use pen. You will not use pencils, okay? Because the books are supposed to be checked, and so the work has to be done with pen. The work has to be done in ink and not with pencil. First thing. Then secondly, your answers should be very clearly written with correct spellings. Okay, the spellings should be correct. In exams also, if you suppose give an offline paper, then your spellings must be correct. Otherwise, we are going to cut marks for your wrong spellings. So your spelling should be clearly written. Then as you can see in this exercise, what I have done is they have given you space here for writing. Like the first microorganism's name is Streptococcus thermophilus. So this matches with the C statement. So I have written C over here. But you can also see that where the whole statement is written, the whole question is written, the whole description is written, there up above it, I have written the answer. If you write your answers this way, then it's very easy for you to quickly learn the answers. Otherwise, first of all, what will you do? You will keep on searching where is C, what is C matching with, and all that. So instead of doing that, what you can do is you should learn to write the answers there itself where the description is, so that you can learn it. You can see it very clearly. You can learn it quickly. Now, let's move on to this, these answers, these question and answers. So first one is Streptococcus thermum. I'll not go this way, children. I'll go this way. See this A statement. See this A statement. Fixes atmospheric nitrogen to ammonia by forming a symbiotic relationship with the roots of legumes. So which microorganism or bacteria fixes atmospheric nitrogen to ammonia by forming a symbiotic relationship with the roots of legumes? So that bacteria is Rhizobium. Rhizobium. Okay. Rhizobium. 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 Let's see the B part. Used for the baking of bread. The bread is baked using this. So that is Saccharomyces yeast. That is Saccharomyces yeast. Saccharomyces. Saccharomyces yeast. Yeast. Okay. Then next. C. Used for production of yogurt and cheese. So which bacteria is helpful in the making of yogurt and cheese? So that is Streptococcus thermophilus. So Streptococcus Streptococcus thermophilus. Thermophilus. Then next one is Aspergillus fungi. Aspergillus. Aspergillus. Fungi. Okay. Fungi or fungi, whatever. Then helps digest food and maintains the intestinal tract in good health. So which bacteria helps us to do, which microbe helps us to do that? Lactobacillus acidophilus. So Lactobacillus, Lactobacillus acidophilus, Acidophilus. Okay, Lactobacillus acidophilus. Then let's see the next one. This produces penicillin, an antibiotic that stops the growth of certain bacteria in the body. So penicillin is a medicine and it is an antibiotic that stops the growth of certain bacteria in the body and thus curing you in the process. So this microbe is Penicillium fungi or fungi, whatever. Penicillium, Penicillium, fungi, fungi. Penicillium, Penicillium, fungi. Okay. So these are your answers, children. Now, there's one thing I want to tell you. These 3 pages which we have done today, that means chapter 1, useful microbes, you will do these answers in your GK books as I have shown you. Okay, so you will keep your work ready. So you write these answers in ink. You will use blue gel pen and you will write these answers very nicely in good handwriting clearly. Okay. So that will be your homework. Okay. So do these 3 pages in your book nicely and learn them also. Okay. You don't have to learn the first page, the page number 5, you don't have to learn that. You only have to read it out and you only have to know that. But page number 6 and 7, you need to learn the answers, okay? And the spellings also. So children, do your homework and just keep safe and help your mama at home, okay? So that's all for today. Just be happy.